National Geographic Kids Honey Bees by Jill S. Baum. Look, a honeybee. Buzzing through a warm afternoon, a little worker bee dips into colorful flowers again, and again, and again. A honeybee visits hundreds of flowers a day, tasting each one with its feet. From each flower, she collects a sweet liquid called nectar. She sips the runny nectar through her straw-like tongue and stores it in a special just for honey tummy. The tongue is called a proboscis. Flower pollen dusts the bee like fluffy golden snow. Every once in a while she stops, rolls the pollen into balls, and stuffs these into tiny sacs on her back legs. Honey, I'm home. When the bee is so heavy with nectar and pollen she can barely fly, she heads home to the hive. Thousands of other workers are arriving home too. Inside the hive, the air hums with excitement. Bees bustle to and fro. The whole colony works together for its queen. As long as she is safe and healthy, so is the hive. Worker bees bring her food and carry out her waste. They fan their wings to keep the hive cool. One of the most important jobs in the hive is caring for the queen's many eggs. A hive is made up of many honeycombs. Through spring and summer, she lays up to 2,000 eggs per day. She wiggles her abdomen down into a honeycomb and drops each egg into its own six-walled cell. An egg's shell melts away and, hello larva. The chubby baby looks nothing like a bee, yet. For 3 days, the larva is fed a milky mush called royal jelly. Then it is switched to a honey pollen mixture called bee bread. Each larva weaves a cocoon. Inside, its body keeps growing and changing. Crawl. Finally, a honeybee chews open its cocoon and climbs out of its cozy cell. Ta-da! Honeybees keep their hive clean and neat, so the new bee's first job is to clean her room. Hives can be found in unusual places. Many honeybees live in human-made hives. A beekeeper opens a hive to remove part of the sticky golden honey. Yum! Bye-bye, Buzzy. Hope you find a lot of lovely flowers. Busy as a bee. There's plenty of work to do in a honeybee hive. Every worker does each of these jobs in order, moving from one to the next every few days during her 6 weeks of life. 1. Clean out cells. 2. Feed the queen and larvae. 3. Build and repair honeycombs. 4. Make honey from nectar. 5. Guard the hive entrance. 6. Fly out to collect nectar. Worker bees are always female. Can you buzz like a bee? Each hive has only one queen bee. She's the only one able to lay eggs. The eggs are as tiny as the very tip of a brand new crayon. What is one chore you do at home? Do flowers grow near your home or school? Have you ever seen a bee on a flower? Male honeybees, called drones, do not work in the hive and only live long enough to mate with the queen. When fall arrives and the weather turns cold, drones are kicked out of the hive. More honey, please. Bees make honey from flower nectar. They store it in the topmost cells of their honeycomb. They eat both honey and pollen. In one day, a worker bee brings home enough nectar to make only a tiny bit of honey. But a hive might have 50,000 or more bees. Working together, they can make as much as 2 pounds, that's 1 kg, of honey per day. That's enough honey to fill 2 canning jars. Pollen is stored in cells below the honey. Where do you store your food? Pollen cells are built above those filled with eggs and growing larvae. What's your favorite sweet treat? Do you weigh more or less than 2 pounds? That's 1 kg. The bee is the key. When bees fly from flower to flower, tiny grains of pollen stick to their feet, then get dropped off on another flower. That's called pollination, and it's what helps flowers make more flowers. Bees pollinate many food crops too. Without bees, we couldn't enjoy things like apples, blueberries, cherries, cucumbers, strawberries, or melons. Bees are important to many ecosystems. You can help them by planting nectar-rich flowers like daisies and marigolds and blue flowers like salvia. Bees seem to like the color blue. You might also plant any of the fruits or berries mentioned above, as well as broccoli, pumpkins, and tomatoes. Do you have a garden? Have you ever picked apples from a tree? Salvia plant. What's your favorite vegetable? Bee maids help the honeybee find its way back to the hive. Waggle dance. When a worker bee returns to the hive, it sometimes does a waggle dance. The special wiggle-waggle moves are actually directions that show other workers where to go find flowers. Can you look at the picture and waggle dance like a honeybee? The end.